This morning, I want to talk about getting out of debt. But I want to talk about it not from the typical perspective, but I want to talk about it from the mindset perspective, because I really believe that until you have a shift in your mindset, you could get out of debt today and be back in debt in a year. And that's why, like, when I hear people say they do, I'm sorry, I'm getting a notification. They do credit repair. Let's say, for example, credit repair. And they can fix your credit in 7 days. Okay, and I guess if you're making a big purchase, although 7 days is, I think your credit has to be together more than 7 days. But it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on the issue. You got an issue. When I was in major debt, I had an issue. And a credit repair guy was not going to fix it. He was going to fix it for that situation. But and okay, let's look at this. Let's say you're buying a house. So you're buying a house and your credit is not right. It doesn't meet the minimum for buying a house, which is, I think it's like 620 credit score. So you do whatever you got to do, and you get this guy who does credit repair to get your credit above a 620. So you bought the house, so you're good. You're good, or so you think. They have minimums for a reason. If you just get your credit up to a 620 or above, let's say you get it to a 650 so that you can buy this home, you have not addressed the issue. When I'm not talking about this from a outsider perspective, that I'm someone from the outside looking in, like, oh, this is what you need to do with your credit. I'm someone who was deep in it. And I remember years ago, I had a good job. I was making good money, but my credit was jacked. And so I had a friend who had a realtor, and so I met with her, and she said she had a guy that could fix my credit. And I knew, as much as I wanted to buy, I knew in my heart of hearts that was just going to set me up for failure. It was going to set me up for failure, because if my credit was jacked, my credit still was going to be jacked. Like, after I got the home. And then, like, it was either going to be more jacked, because now I have this mortgage, that I'm responsible for, and my credit, I knew it was not the right thing to do. And that was right before the crash, the whole real estate crash in 2008. Yeah, it was right before then. So I honestly, I'm glad that didn't work out, because I was just setting myself up for failure, since when I looked at my credit, I remember back then I had stupid things on there. I had collections $25. for this. I mean, I'm not saying that was the bulk of it or anything, but I had little things. I had little things. I had big things. I had medical stuff. I had, and not major. It wasn't major stuff. I had like $200 in medical bills. You know, I had, like I said, $25 that I owed, you know, some company or whatever. I owed Verizon. I owed everybody. I owed everybody a little something. And then I didn't have department store cards. I knew department store cards was a scam. I knew they were a scam. Like that I did know. But I had bigger cards, like, you know, I had my credit cards. Like I had a credit card with my bank. And, you know, MasterCard or Visa. I didn't pay them. I didn't pay those people. And so, of course, they took the card. Or they closed the card, you know. But, we gotta get to the root of why your credit is jacked. Why are you, you know, and your argument could be, because my argument would have been, even though I just told you I was making good money. I was making good money back then. So your question would be, well, why couldn't you pay your bills? Because my mind wasn't right. And I was spending, I don't want to get deep into what I was spending my money on, but it wasn't on, it wasn't a bunch of clothes and stuff. That's not what I do. Yeah, that's not what I do. But I was just, I had no budget, first of all. I had no budget, and I had no plan for my money. So when my check came in, it was just, oh, it's payday. Hey, I don't know if you've ever seen this. It's a hilarious, I think it's a video, YouTube video, and it's a comedian or somebody that does this whole thing. On Friday, she goes to, you know, she's going through a drive-thru. She's going through Wendy's or somebody's drive-thru, and she is like, no, I think they do the scene before Friday. They do the scene. She goes to the drive-thru before Friday, and she's like asking for free stuff. Like, could she get a cup of ice? You know, and like ketchup and stuff, you know, stuff like that. And you know, maybe she buys like one like hamburger or something, but she's broke. She's broke on like the Thursday before payday. She is broke. And then you know, the next scene is she goes to the drive-thru on payday, and she's balling. She's balling. She's not only is she balling, she's giving she's like telling the person, oh, keep the tip. I mean, keep the change. It's hilarious. But anyway, the reason it's hilarious for me is because that was me. That's me. Like Friday it's payday. I'm balling. I'm not, you know, I'm balling. Pay a few bills, and by that Monday I was broke. Had no plan. I had no savings. I had no nothing. I was just, you know, no strategy, no nothing. And so my point in this whole video is, before you go out here and get your, not to say before, like, don't work on your credit now, or your, you know, but while you're working on your credit, your physical credit, you know, paying off stuff, or, you know, because I have a whole video on how to get out of debt, you know, Checking your credit report, seeing where you are, and then budgeting and using that extra money. Like right now, look at my fingers. I don't have no nail polish on. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to the nail salon right now. I'll go get my pedicure once every maybe once a month. I'll go get my pedicure and not because I got to have my pedicure. No. I got some. I have some issues with my feet, so I need to stay on top of that so it doesn't go left or back to the point. We need to get our mind right around credit and around money and around financial independence and all of that before we go out here and just get right back into debt, get back into the same situation you were just in. It would be foolish, because again, that scenario where somebody repairs your credit, so now your credit's good enough, you get this house, but now your habits haven't changed. So you still going through the drive-through, and again, when you're just using this example, yours could be something else. Yours could be going to get your nails done and getting your all of this stuff done with your nails it's I have a coworker, she's hilarious. Like, it's Halloween, she got the Halloween decorations and whatnot on her nails. It's Christmas, you got the Christmas, she already got her Christmas nails. Girl, what you doing? No judgment. I do like to keep my nails done, but right now, no. So yeah, you gotta, my biggest issue and weakness with my finance is food. It's food. I eat out way more than I should, and that's eating up my money. So identify, and that's again on that video, and again, if I can figure out how to link it, I'll link it here. But identify where the holes are, where your money is just like going out the window, and then stop it. Budget. Come up with a plan of action, and then once you do that, you may need to get you a side gig. If you're really deep in it, get you a side gig, and make sure it's nothing like, don't work at the mall at your favorite store, because you're just gonna be like, oh, we get a 20% discount, and next thing you know, you're giving them back the money you made. Don't do that. I've done that before. That was stupid. But get your mind set together so that you don't ever have to be in that place anymore. Because once you become debt free, it's such a feeling. It's such a great feeling. It's such a great feeling. I just thought of something. Another thing I remember back in those days when I was, like just going through stuff, but it was like self-inflicted. But it was so bad that at one point in my life, because I had bounced so many checks and so many insufficient funds or whatever, you know, and I mean, people today talk about all the fees and stuff. Yeah, I had the fees, but at one point they would just like close my account. They closed my banking account. At one point in my life, I will admit, I did not have a legit checking account. Forget savings account. That's out of the question. I didn't have a savings account whatsoever for years. I went without a savings account. I mean, whatever I was trying to save up, I would just put it in my checking account. But at one point, because again, I had bounced so many checks, my bank was like, yo, we're done. So then I'd go over to bank number 2 and do the same, had the same behavior. And they were like, yeah, no. And you may not know this because you may not have had this situation, but there's something in the banking world that is like a credit check, but it's just in the banking world. So if you apply with one bank and you've had some bad history with another bank, they're going to run your banking credit. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's a thing. It's a real thing. So just get your stuff together and stay together, so that you don't have to live in that place. And that's that on that. All right, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video.